Some students leaving a language school one day were each asked which language lesson they had just attended. The table and the pie chart give some information about their answers. Okay, so for example, for Italian, when 24 students left, that was basically represented as 30 degrees. Whereas for French and the others, we don't know because we need to fill out. So before we do anything, let's fill out this table because I know the question is going to ask that. So the easiest way to fill out is to use the very first set of results, yeah? So what we can do, we just divide the numbers. So you just do 30 divided by 24. So 30 over 24, just as a first example, gives us 1.25. That means all you have to do, if you want to go from frequency to angle, you times by 1.25. If you want to go from angle to frequency, you divide it. Okay, so let's do the French. Let's do 95 degrees divided by the rate. So if you do that, you're going to get 76. So the frequency is 76. If you're going to times it by the rate now, 48 times 1.25, you're going to get 60. We don't know what English is, we're going to get to that. Spanish, you can do 80 times the rate, you're going to get 100. So that's the angle. So now we've got pretty much everything. Cool. So it looks like they already filled out one part. That's nice. Okay, so let's look at the question. Work out the number of students who answered French. I think we've done that, isn't it? Well, it was 76 according to what we did. Now, B, complete the table and the pie chart. Okay, so let's do what we can do, yeah? So for the table, actually, no, we can work out English because what we know about a pie chart is that all angles in a circle must add up to what? 360 degrees. That's it. So we just got to find the difference. So if you add up these four numbers, we're going to have basically 30 plus 95 plus 60 plus 100. That gives us 285 degrees. Now, if we subtract that against 360, we get 75 degrees. So that's exactly what English represents. And to get a frequency, we're going to go from degrees to frequency. We're going to divide it by the rate. So divided by 1.25, you get 60 students that did English. Nice. Now we can fill out the pie chart. Let's do it. So it's recommended that you guys use so let's fill this out, yeah. So before you do this, make sure you guys have the right tools for this so you can actually draw the angles correctly. It helps a lot. But anyway, to do 60 degrees is quite easy. It's going to be our right angle from here. So I'm going to do 60 first. So I'm going to just estimate, guys. In reality, you guys should use the right tools, yeah. So here's 60 degrees. I'll call this one 60. And this is going to be Arabic. That's quite a good amount. A lot of people are studying Arabic, mashallah. Next one is going to be French and Italian. Let's have a look. So let's do Italian because it's only 30 degrees, yeah? So 30 degrees would be, oh no, we've done Italian. And we've done French. Let's do English, which is 75 degrees. So 75 degrees would look kind of just, I'll say 75, I'm going to estimate like this. Remember, use a protractor, guys, yeah? 75 degrees. That's going to be over here. And that's meant to be English. And of course, 100 degrees, which is the biggest, is going to be Spanish. Nice. Not bad. I guess everyone's done choosing the language they like. And that's it. That should kind of be it. So Grace has a biased five-sided spinner. So biased means it's not fair. Yeah? So it's not actually equal, even though it looks equal. Grace is going to spin the arrow on the spinner once. The table below gives the probabilities that the spinner will land on red or on blue or green. Okay. But she didn't. Yeah, okay. Also on orange and pink as well. So probability lands on red is 20%, 12% for blue, 8% for green, and so on. Now, let's understand what the rest is. The probability that the spinner will land on orange is 3 times the probability to land on pink. So wherever orange is 3 times bigger than pink. So you can think of orange as 3 times x and pink being x. Okay, so wherever x is, orange will be 3 times that value. Work out the probability that will land orange. Now, when it comes to probability, guys, all the probabilities must always add up to 100% or 1. So let's add up all these values, yeah? So you go 0.20 plus 12 plus 0.08. That on the calculator should give us 0.4. Plus, and then the orange and green probabilities, 3x plus x is 4x. And that equals 1 whole. Now all you go do is just rearrange it. Make x subject. So take away 0.4, you're left with 4x equals 0.6 in the calculator. And on the calculator, x is going to be 0.6 divided by 4. Put that in the calculator. You should get 0.15. So x is 0.15 here. That means for 3x, you times it by 3, you get 0.45. And that's it. That should give us a result. And the workout orange, they want orange figure, so 0.45. Now, Grace spins the arrow on the spinner 150 times. Work on estimate for the number of times it lands on blue. So you just got to multiply that by the blue probabilities. So 150 times 0.12. So just put this in the calculator. And when you do that, 150 times 0.12, you should get 18. So there's basically, you're most likely expected to get 18 times landed on blue. That's it. Jethro has sat 5 tests. Each test was marked out of 100, and the mean mark for the 5 tests is 74. Okay, let's keep this in mind, yeah? So the mean mark is 74. Now, he has to sit one more test, and that's also out of 100. He wants his mean mark for all 6 tests to be at least 77. Work out the least mark that Jethro needs to get for the last test. Now, here's an easy way to do this, guys, when it comes to mean. They always seem to like drop this. So let's firstly work with the 5 tests, yeah? So for the 5 tests, if each of the mean mark was 74, if the average was 74, that means the total would be the average times how many tests you did. So it'd be 74 times 5, yeah? So you could say that the total for the 5 tests was 74 times 5. Okay, because we don't know what the average, exactly what all the values were, but if on average everything's 74, just multiply by 5 and you get 370. That's the first one. Now, he tells us that he wants his mean mark for all 6 tests to be 77. So let's work with 6 tests. We know the total is 370. He just needs one more test. Let's call it x. It's going to have to equal something to give you a mean of 77. Well, let's do the same trick. If he wants at least 77, so in fact, I'm going to change the sign to at least, yeah? It needs to be 77 times 6. Okay, so he needs at least 77 times 6. Well, 77 times 6, let's work it out. That's going to give us 462. So it's going to be 370 plus x greater equal than 462 marks. So he needs 462 marks total. So to get x, subtract 370 across. If you do that, then he needs at least on the last test to get a mark of 92 or more. So he needs between 92 and 100 to get at least 77. And that's it, guys. That is the least mark he needs, which is 92 marks. And